Okay, well, you mentioned consumer spending there. Retail sales are surging here at the moment. I noticed those comments from JB Hi-Fi yesterday saying that our economy is, in fact, in pretty good shape.
It is if you're a retailer. I think this is really important. So, normally during recessions, retail is the last thing, or maybe the first thing to hurt and thing to hurt most, right? Because we pull out our spending, we go and, put the wallets and purses away. That hurts retailers normally more than most. In this particular rebound, though, of course, the combination of stimulus, some early access super, and just simply the fact that those of us with jobs simply can't go overseas or even largely interstate in some cases. And so we're spending more money at home, whether that's on consumer electronics, homewares, TVs, the whole box and dice. That's been great news for JB Hi-Fi. Super Retail Group, by the way, behind Rebel and Super Cheap Auto and BCF, the camping shop, also doing spectacularly well. These numbers are really, really good numbers for the economy, because what it means is there's money going into the economy. They are hiring, or at the very least keeping people on the payroll. That should keep flowing through the economy is my hope. Now, we know, of course, other sectors are really struggling. Tourism feeling the brunt of this. So we shouldn't say, great, the economy's okay and retail's great. We need to say the economy's okay, retail's great, and others are struggling. So it's not unquestionably good news without its downsides. But the positive here is retail's a huge employer. We know that. As that keeps going through the economy, I think this gives us a really, really nice platform for 2021 to be okay. Have to remember, though, of course, this time next year, these guys can't keep growing at that rate. They may even decline. And so we're going to have to keep future retail sales numbers in context, almost compare them to a compound 2-year growth from 2019, rather look at just the 1-year move between 19 and 20 and then 20 and 21.
Yeah, okay. And meanwhile, Josh Frydenberg, he's reaffirmed his intention to end JobKeeper by the end of March. It's going to be interesting to see, though, in what capacity handouts, if I can call it that, will come beyond that for those industries that are badly affected. Bearing in mind that it looks like international travel is going to be out for this year now, and then there's going to be a restriction in the amount of international students that are coming out to Australia. So there's going to need to be some kind of extra help beyond March.
I think so, Pete. Look, I've got to say, I won't editorialise too deeply, but I think the international student numbers can be vastly improved as long as we're comfortable with the hotel quarantine restrictions. Students who are coming here for a year or 2 or 3 years, frankly, it's a no-brainer for retail spending, for education spending, for accommodation spending. If we can get people who want to be here for multiple years at a time, 2 weeks quarantine, they're probably going to happily take that, and maybe even subsidise it, quite frankly, because the economic benefits of having tens of thousands of international students back in the country are massive. So we should think about that. Broadly, though, as you say, the good thing about JobKeeper is it's designed to come off by itself as businesses no longer qualify for it in the best possible way. So as sales continue to recover, as businesses get back to normal, they simply say, okay, we're back to normal now. We don't qualify anymore. And so that comes off by itself. Post JobKeeper, as you say, I think we need something for either targeted industries or simply just keeping the same criteria will probably be enough, because if the local plumber and retail shop and cafe no longer are eligible because business is back to normal, then great. It kind of tapers off by itself. It's a bit of an automatic stabilizer, as the Boffins call it, for that same purpose. But yes, look, the business needs to know it's going away, because it means that they hire and spend appropriately and accordingly. But we also need to make sure there is support for those remaining few industries, as I said, either targeted or just because of the way it's designed, for those businesses that simply aren't back to normal, as we're seeing on the screen now.
Yeah. Okay, Scott.